Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo, and in tech news today, Elon Musk did something else with Twitter, and quite honestly, it's just getting nauseating. Every time I see his name, I'm turned off. I'm not someone who was ever an Elon Musk fanboy. Who was just going to defend every action that he made. Was never into getting a Tesla. I can tell you at this point in time, I have less than zero interest in getting a Tesla. There are plenty of other viable alternatives, and I'm driving one, thankfully. But before Elon took over Twitter, I was cautiously optimistic, thinking, well, it could go one way or the other, hoping it would go the direction it didn't go, at least in my mind and in my experience, because since Elon took over Twitter, many people's Twitter experiences changed for the worse, not for the better. A lot of people would say, oh, it's much better now than it was before. But the thing is, my social graph, the graph that I had been building up over all that time, suddenly got watered down. And then when you pile on top of that all these other bugs and weird anomalies and issues and question marks as to its future direction, that's where it really starts getting nerve-wracking. It's like anybody who would spend an inordinate amount of time on Twitter, I would argue, hey, maybe you should spend your time doing something else that might be constructive, or, connecting with other people in a different way. Live.Pirillo.com is back. It's me back there with at least 8 other people playing video games. You can join us 24/7. It's not just me sitting in a chair anymore, in an empty chair. Live.Pirillo.com. So you can spend your time hanging out with other people and not being impacted by an algorithm, or not being impacted by these knee-jerk reaction policy changes that happen seemingly overnight and without warning. Now, there are some changes that Elon instituted that didn't impact me directly, but it impacted the people that I follow directly. And the value to me for Twitter isn't the platform. It's not the software. It ain't the owner. It's the people that I would connect with. And if they stop using it, or if they pull back, well, suddenly the value to me is diminished. It's watered down. So it's not so much just my experience, it's everybody else's experience as well. That adds up. And forget about being in a trust thermocline, which we are clearly in this situation. Because yesterday, and this is the reason I'm doing this video right now, on live.Pirillo.com here in chat, we had someone ask the question, so what is going on with Elon Musk basically changing the rules specifically for two-factor authentication using SMS? So this is if you missed this, and this is nuanced, by the way, because I understand why people are concerned, and rightfully so, but there's a better way of doing it anyway. So if you use two-factor authentication, and you should for Twitter, but you use SMS, that will only be a Twitter Blue feature, right? I don't even know if Twitter Blue works well. I haven't signed up. I'm a legacy verified, an actual verified user, not just someone who got verified to have $8 a month. That's all the verified badge is. I know y'all think you're fancy. Ooh, look at me, I got a blue badge. Okay, cool, you have $8 to spend. Nice. Now, don't get me wrong. If and when there's a value in spending that $8 a month, I absolutely will spend it. No doubt about it, I spend money on subscriptions left and right. But right now, there's really no value to it. And certainly taking away the value to doing two-factor authentication over SMS, well, some people are upset. I would argue that you should not have been using that anyway. If given an option and an opportunity to use, let's say, token-based authentication using a third-party app, that's what you should use. Don't use SMS if you can avoid it. Avoid it at all costs for anything. Period. End of story. So this feature being removed, I'm not going to say is a non-issue. I think, if anything, it furthers the conversation that you should have been using the other option anyway. This will save Twitter money. They won't have to spend money on those messages because that ain't free. But the other option that's already been there, which you should have been using anyway, is still free. Now, if he made that a paid feature, I would have been like, nah, dude, that's crossing the line. That is crossing the line. But eliminating just this basic feature that had a better alternative already in place, not saying it's a non-issue, it just gives us an opportunity to talk about there was already a better option for you. So I'm not saying you don't have the right to be upset about the changes. I'm not saying it's a non-issue, because it's certainly an issue, but in terms of the things that Elon has been doing to Twitter, this isn't as big of a deal that I feel people are making out of it. Mind you, I'm concerned with other things that Elon's doing. I don't like the fact that he basically ripped the rug out from underneath bot developers or third-party developers, but Twitter never really had a good relationship with third-party developers anyway. So that's not really Elon's fault. But in terms of the changes, like the tweaks that he made around the Super Bowl, apparently he got upset that the president got more engagement than he did. So he calls up the engineers and says, what, you know, Elon does this. That's I can't listen to the guy. Like, most people can't listen to me. I sound better on mute. But, you know, Elon basically got upset. He said, no, blah, blah, blah. And so the engineers had to shuffle things, and they basically made an alternative algorithm where Elon's posts get way more engagement over everybody. So welcome to Twitter. Twitter is no longer what you thought it was. Maybe you thought it was the same thing it was a year ago. It is not. Maybe you think it was the same thing it was 10 years ago. It is not. It is radically different. And the fact that Elon put his finger on the scale should tell you everything. Forget about all these other things. I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay attention to the changes if you care about Twitter, but him putting his finger on the scale for the algorithm, I have a problem with the algorithm. And I have a problem with YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I have a problem with every social platform that has an algorithm. Every one of them. Why do you think I don't have a problem with Mastodon? Why do you think that? Why do you think I don't have an issue with it? Why? Oh yeah, no algorithm, no ads, no waiting, no nerfing. It just your graph is yours. It's been wonderful. Mastodon in many ways is not just taken the place of Twitter, but has been better than Twitter was. So I'm meeting new people. I'm connecting with the people that I once knew. And it's generally a better experience by and large. And there are plenty of Mastodon clients available for Android, iOS, and on the desktop. On the desktop, I just use the TweetDeck type of interface. Don't get me started on TweetDeck, because even the new TweetDeck that was being developed in the previous regime of Twitter was the wrong direction for TweetDeck. So I hope that does not change. And if it does, I don't think I could even see myself paying $8 a month for the new TweetDeck, which is just, it was a catastrophe even before Elon was in place. So some of these things were there before Elon, but Elon's just making changes that are really antithetical to what I feel people wanted to use Twitter for. That's where I have a problem. That's where it's an issue for me. And I'm not saying that everything he does is bad, and I'm not saying everything he does is good. It's just, it's nuanced, right? So, yeah, if you're going to be mad at him putting his finger on the scale. Be mad about the algorithm. Be mad about the changes that he's making that just don't add up. If you think $8 a month is worth it for all the things you get, cool. I don't. There's been nothing that's been offered. Nothing close to me wanting to plop down $8 a month. Say, yep, shut up and take my money, because I'll do it. I'm going on record. I'm not going to be one of those people who say, judges people, well, you're paying $8 a month. No, I'm just saying, well, congratulations, you're paying $8 a month. That doesn't say anything. You just got a blue badge. You're paying $8 a month. It doesn't mean you are who you say you are. It's just you paid $8 a month. Congratulations. Not a big deal. But I'll be willing to pay it. But I have to see value from it, and I don't see it. Not even close. And then even people who've paid for it have had problems with this, the Twitter Blue subscription, where it's not charging, or they're not getting all the features that they asked for, or there's another bug in the system. And you can't count on the Twitter page saying that the service is down, or to know whether or not there's a problem in the system, because even that's broken. So things are falling apart at the seams. And smarter people, certainly smarter than I, have warned us. They said, things are going to fall apart at the seams. And what do you know? Things are falling apart at the seams. If you run into a situation where you suddenly can't tweet, or there's a weird anomaly, you can't view your messages, or suddenly now you're blocked because you sent a DM that had a link in it. Like, weird stuff is happening on Twitter. And I don't just mean Elon, because that's enough weird stuff for me.